WCW Monday Nitro number 246, also June 5th of the year 2000.
It is so amazing that we get Raw done in 22 minutes.
Yes. And we're still here more than an hour.
Is also a fucking 2-hour show, and it takes us 45 fucking minutes to review this.
There's a lot of things to review.
Well, there's a lot more stuff that happens, and it's all stupider.
For the most part, yeah.
So we open with hype for tonight's Goldberg Tank Abbott main event. Well, it wasn't even the main event, but it was a match.
You know what I hate about this fucking show?
Everything from the start to the ending.
How fucking dumb it is. And how stupid the people have to be that put this show together.
Yeah.
Okay? So Bischoff, Russo, and the crew come out. And Bischoff is doing his usual gimmick. He's bragging about taking out Lex Luger and the Millionaires Club.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Bischoff isn't a millionaire? He's new blood? Or is he unaffiliated?
No, he's new blood.
Eric, wait a second. No. Eric Bischoff.
Where you been, dude?
Is new blood?
He's been by Russo's side since they came back.
Russo is new blood?
Yes.
No, there's two factions, and they have to be unaffiliated. There's no way that these two motherfuckers are new blood. No, Vinny, you're wrong.
Okay, I'm wrong. I would rather be wrong than argue about this.
How are they in the new blood, and they're not in the Millionaires Club?
Because they're feuding with the Millionaires.
Eric Bischoff ran this motherfucking company. He was ATM Eric. How is he not in the Millionaires? How are the Millionaires Club not the heels?
That I don't know.
Motherfucker.
That I don't know.
I hate this show. There's no way they're new blood. It's just bullshit. There's just no way.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
No.
I don't know what to tell you. Except for the fact anyway.
I realize that blood drops from the ceiling because they're fucking new blood. But this is just shit. Can't they just drop money on people and be the Millionaires Club?
Now that would get over.
Like just big stacks of money fall from the fucking ceiling.
Crates of money.
Big bags with a dollar sign on it fall from the ceiling and land on guys. Isn't that better than this fucking blood?
It would be better.
The fucking blood only affects the baby face.
Yes.
Call Cody.
That's not even possible. Do you understand? I cannot suspend my disbelief that the blood only affects half of the participants. This is such stupid garbage bullshit.
Should we review the show now?
I'm not sure I can go any further than that.
Well,
your point is valid, Brian.
You're right about everything.
Yeah.
None of it makes any sense, and it's all dumb. That's a fact. So, Russo books Kevin Nash in a new blood gauntlet. That's what he called it, Brian.
Ugh.
A new blood gauntlet.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's affiliated.
So, if he loses in this gauntlet match, he loses his title shot at the Bash. Kevin Nash does. And
Who's
also,
the fucking champion?
Jarrett.
Okay.
And also, if a millionaire... This is important, actually.
Are we sure Jarrett's a champion? Because there was a Thunder we didn't see.
Pretty sure Flair's
Yes.
the champion.
No, Jarrett's the champion. He won it last week at the end of... Because last week, Nash, you were already figuring this. Last week, the show opened...
I think you are.
Last week, the show opened with Nash giving the title to Flair. And the main event of the show, Flair lost it to Jarrett.
You're right. But
And then-
my point is there was a Thunder in between. Is it possible that Terry Funk is a world champion right now?
Then how at the end of the show do we get a new champion?
We don't.
We don't, Craig.
No, that's important. Jarrett has the belt on the show, and he has it when the show's over.
Okay.
Well, we'll discuss.
Okay.
So this is important, everyone. If Kevin Nash loses this
Yes.
gauntlet match, or if a member of the Millionaires Club interferes,
Yes.
if either of these happen, then Kevin Nash loses his title shot at the Great American Bash, which, oh, by the way, is Sunday. This is the go-home show. Keep
interesting.
that in mind as the show continues. So they book Jarrett versus Sting for tonight.
Can we talk about the Russo promo where he talks about how he was forced to move to Atlanta and work for WCW?
That's what he said.
He was forced to move here.
I'm not going to say nice things about Vince Russo often.
He's a great heel.
When he said that he was constantly surrounded by a sea of hornyackers and then immediately started to bury John Rocker, this is a highlight. A highlight in the Vince Russo run.
I did write, and this is a direct quote, and I feel no remorse. He was a great television heel.
Okay.
Sure.
He did not need to be writing this program because
No.
he's a fucking moron.
Yes.
But he could be a very unlikable television character. I will give him credit for that.
Now, the last time they were in Atlanta, they ran the Georgia Dome, correct? And it was like half full.
Fuck if I know.
Yeah.
And now they're in the Phillips Arena.
Okay. Smaller?
Oh, lots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Russo is wrestling Flair in a cage match tonight. He says, "You won't have a brain aneurysm. You'll have brain damage." I guess he is stupid.
That's worse.
Well, we knew that.
Bischoff vows he will take the hardcore title off Terry Funk. He moves on to Goldberg. This is all one segment, by the way. This is still going on. Goldberg last week screwed up their plans to take Kevin Nash out. At this point, we, the viewer at home, see Goldberg walking around backstage. The fans in the building do not. Bischoff says he will suspend Goldberg if Goldberg interferes again. Russo plays bad cop. He calls Bill a punk. He calls him out. So Goldberg comes out. Huge ovation in Atlanta. He's killing the security team, and Bischoff and Russo flee. And then, I swear to God, at least 100 men come running down the ramp to fight Goldberg. There have been entire promotions that have run successfully for years with smaller crews that were just in the security team.
I could have told you that. I did love that Russo is calling Goldberg a punk. Bischoff is there begging him. He's begging him to just shut up because he's going to get himself in trouble.
Yes.
And sure as shit, he gets himself in trouble.
Yes.
Goldberg comes down, beats the shit out of everybody. They go backstage, and Russo's on the couch, and he's just saying, "I said I was sorry. What more do you want?"
Yes.
That's a great heel.
He's
He's an idiot.
That is the payoff. This went too long, but it was not terrible.
It was not 27 minutes.
It was less.
So it did not go that long.
So Bischoff and Russo are now backstage yelling at each other. Russo's being an idiot. Bischoff is mad at Russo for being an idiot. Speaking of idiots, Kidman wants in. Now, I have no idea why, but now he is mad at Horace and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Well, I know he's mad at Hogan.
Wasn't he on the same team with Horace before?
Yes.
Yeah, but they broke up because remember
got-
Horace got Tori.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
There's a lot to keep track of.
No shit. I can't believe I remembered that.
So Kidman I thought he wanted a match.
He wants Horace and Hulk tonight,
Right.
and Bischoff doesn't give a shit.
Bischoff no longer cares about Hulk Hogan.
Bischoff does not care about a Hulk Hogan match on Nitro.
No.
That's the story we've been told.
That is what's going on here.
Yeah.
So Kidman said, "I want a match with Horace and Hulk," which I thought meant a three-way. He wanted to face both Hogans.
No, it was a handicap match.
Oh, the two of them against him.
I think so, yeah.
Well, regardless, that's not what happened. None of this is what happened.
Isn't this where they said that Hulk wasn't there?
Well, he was there, so.
Well, I know.
No, they never said Hulk wasn't there. They said Hulk wouldn't wrestle. But
Yeah, Hulk Hogan is not going to wrestle
that's
tonight.
later.
Right.
That's later.
Which why, if you were a Hulk Hogan fan and you find out that Hulk Hogan isn't going to wrestle tonight, why would you watch?
Because you presume they're lying.
I see.
Right.
You have to think for them.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Someone must.
Sure.
Sean Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo versus Chronic. We are shown clips. We are shown clips from Thunder, where Stasiak and Palumbo won the tag titles. How do they win the tag titles, you ask? The Cat was in charge. He waived the DQ rule, and even though Chronic had the pin, Brian Adams had a weapon. They were DQ'd, and thus Stasiak and Palumbo are the new tag champions.
All right, may I have a moment here on this match?
Sure.
Can I stop you?
Correct me
No.
if I am wrong, okay? Chronic is facing Stasiak and Palumbo.
Correct.
Shat comes out to watch.
Right.
They're having a match.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad for a while.
Okay.
Hard hitting. Starts to fall apart there at the end. Shat then comes down and he gets in the ring, and the wrestlers begin to brawl into the crowd.
Right.
Okay. Shat then grabs the referee and, as the announcers explain, demands the referee count them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You must enforce the rules.
That's my point. Why isn't Shat the fucking referee? Why wasn't the goddamn referee counting them out when they were brawling in the fucking crowd?
I have no idea.
They're acting like Shat is like doing some sort of
The exact
vile
line,
behavior.
The exact line is, "The Cat is costing Chronic."
Yes, he's not. He's telling the referee to do what the referee was fucking
Dude,
supposed to be doing because they were fucking brawling in the fucking crowd.
Enforce the rules and do your job and call it fairly. Count them out.
Jesus
So the referee is-
Christ.
the referee
so I'm
is-
not wrong.
No.
No.
Okay.
You're exactly right. Now, it's more complicated than that. They can't just do one stupid thing. They must do two stupid things simultaneously. So the referee is counting 5, 6, 7. And Bryan Adams says, well, I don't want to get counted out. I will throw Stasiak in and then roll in after him. He throws Stasiak into the ring. At this point, the cat jumps in front of the ref and goes, 8, 9, 10! And thus, Chronic get counted out and lose, and the New Blood team are the winners via countout.
Yeah, this was awful.
Yeah.
Like, I could not figure out what was going on as Shat is telling the referee to do his job, and the announcers are telling us that he's screwing the teams who are outside the ring for way more than 10 seconds.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense. You would have to be dumb to think this made sense.
Then the teams beat up Shat like it's his fault they got counted out.
By the way, who gave Cat the authority to change rules and enforce rules? What is he doing out here?
Well, he was given permission to run Thunder, right?
I guess.
But now it's Nitro?
It is, in fact, not Nitro.
I don't know.
Russo is here. Bischoff is also here.
I don't know.
Okay.
It is a shitty television show.
He was Bischoff's right-hand man at some point.
I guess. So regardless, Adams hits an F5 on Stasiak, and Brian Clark pulls out a table, then it's to the back.
Okay. I laughed so hard at this next segment, okay? Kidman is backstage, and he is inexplicably yelling at Tori. I don't know what she did wrong. I mean, I guess there was a whole Horace thing.
In the thing with Horace, Tori was there, and when she didn't get her way, she rolled her eyes on Eric and walked out.
Okay, sure. So he's yelling at her, and Major Guns walks into the room, and Kidman says, "Why don't you shut up, you dumb bitch?" Or something like. He calls her a dumb bitch.
That was exactly what he said, yeah.
She fucking starts crying.
Yes.
That happened.
She's weeping.
She buries her face in her hands, hangs her head, and walks away.
I realize that some of you are listening to this and you're thinking, you know what? If some dude came up to me and called me a dumb bitch, I'd probably cry too. But you got to watch this segment to realize how completely preposterous this is. Kidman is just over the top. He's like out of his mind. He's got his high-pitched voice. He's calling her a dumb bitch for like no reason.
Yeah.
And she immediately burst into tears.
Yes.
I was crying at how stupid this was.
She failed to act convincingly like someone whose feelings were hurt.
Yes.
And just for journalistic purposes, the top that Tori Wilson was wearing made this Hall of Fame worthy. And by that, I mean Tori.
There's nothing wrong with her bottoms either.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kidman told
top.
her. Kidman told her to stay in the back.
Yeah, no, pig, right? I know. Go ahead.
Scott Steiner and Kevin Nash arrive. They are immediately interviewed by Pamela Paulshock. Nash is checking her out as she's asking a question. She asks about this gauntlet match he has where he could lose, in a very unfair manner, he could lose his title shot at the pay-per-view. He responds to the question, is Goldberg here?
I laughed at this.
She says yes, and he turns to Scotty and says, I'm the last one here. My gimmick is still alive. And they both laugh and they walk away. That's all Nash cares about.
You know, what I do want to mention here is that Pamela Paulshock was there doing the interview, and she is minimum 100% better than she was last week.
Okay.
So that is one thing that they do better than Raw.
Sure.
The Raw women start out great and then descend into mediocrity. This woman was horrible last week, and now she's no good, but she's like twice as good as she was last week. So I got to give her credit for that.
Okay.
Yep. MIA are having a meeting when Major Guns arrives, face still buried in hands, still sobbing because Billy Kidman called her a dumb bitch. G.I. Bro arrives, tells her to quit crying, and says their mission is to kick Kidman's ass.
Captain Rection, engage the troops. What? That's what he said.
I know.
said.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Somehow I didn't know it when he said it, but I know when you say it, that is what he said.
Yeah.
Nash and Steiner tell Goldberg to kick Tank's ass. They're all buddies now.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner, Kevin
How
Nash, and
is
Goldberg.
Steiner a babyface? I
know.
don't get it. Like, this didn't happen when I watched it in the year 2000.
I don't know.
Like, it's totally the Mandela effect.
Only thing I remember about Scott Steiner's entire babyface run is the double clothesline spot from Thunder, where he wipes out 20 guys.
Dude, the only thing I remember is like him beating the shit out of people, and he tried to run over a construction worker, and just a fucking crazy madman.
Tried to take out Dallas Page's eye.
Now I'm watching it, and he's like a good guy.
Yeah. G.I. Bro versus Kidman.
G.I. Bro did a bunch of eye spots early, and his hat didn't fall off because he's awesome.
And that's the only That's the only thing different about him than
Booker T.
Booker T.
Yeah.
He's got the hat.
He didn't even do the camo makeup this week.
No.
By the way, at the Great American Bash, G.I. Bro versus Sean Stasiak in a boot camp match.
Yes.
Why? If nothing else, Stasiak is a tag champ now. Have Booker find a partner. G.I. Bro find a partner. One of his friends here in these Misfits do a tag match. So we're doing Kidman versus G.I. Bro, which means I assume Kidman will be wrestling no Hogans later on the show in any combination.
Sure.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's weird.
So Booker T hangs Kidman in the corner like Goldust does for the nutshot kick. He calls Major Guns into the ring to kick this man in the balls. And this is not a DQ. Now, she gets in the ring. She's going to kick him in the balls. It's not a DQ. The Animals, by the way, their friend is going to get kicked in the balls. They just stand there and watch. Tori eventually hits the ring. She says, no, don't kick him in the balls. And then it's a swerve. She hits him in the balls instead. But then that's a swerve because Kidman has a cup and he takes it out of his pants and he throws it at her. But now that's a swerve because he turns around and Booker T rock bottoms him and pins him anyway.
This was the dumbest bunch of shit I ever saw.
And then Booker jumps up and gets hit with a chair immediately.
So you're telling me that, like, he was wearing a cup, but that still led to the finish?
Yes.
Yes.
What a fucking geek.
Yes. And then the guy who got the win was immediately hit with a chair.
What an overbooked piece of crap match this was.
I do love G.I. Bro.
Well, sure.
He's great.
How could you not?
He's great.
And so the end result is the Filthy Animals leave the Misfits in action line. They were inactive, as it turns out. Bischoff and the Cat go for a walk and talk trash.
Oh, this.
All right, here we go. It's Terry Funk versus Eric Bischoff, all right?
Holy Christ. So we're supposed to believe in real life that Eric Bischoff thought that he was going to go out there and beat Terry Funk in a hardcore title match?
That's the plan, yes.
Sure. You're not buying it?
Well, he had Cat out there to help him. He thought Cat would help him. So Terry Funk is beating their ass. They run to the back. And Terry Funk runs after them, and they all disappear.
Let's not gloss over the beginning of this match, where Eric Bischoff pulls out nunchucks. Mm-hmm. Okay? The spot is, I'm going to swing the nunchucks, and you block it with a garbage can.
Yes.
He swings these fucking nunchucks, hits the can. Swings the 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 nunchucks, hits the can. I'm counting. Swings the nunchucks, hits the can.
Brian, if at first you don't succeed,
Swings the nunchucks.
try
hits
again.
the can. Does he swing low to go for the gut?
No.
Swing the nunchucks, hit the fucking can. Like 20 fucking times in a row, he swings these nunchucks and hits the fucking can. I'm like, when Funk finally hit him with that fucking can, I was mad at Funk. I was like, dude, you should have hit him with that can 20 fucking swings ago, dude.
All right, so Cat and Eric run to the back, and Terry Funk gives chase. And I'm thinking, oh, great, it's another count out in a hardcore title match. That's awesome.
Oh, no.
Little did I know. So they leave.
And they vanished for a while.
They vanish, and we get a shot of the announcers, and Tony says, we're trying to get a camera backstage, everyone. And then music begins to play, and Miss Hancock comes out.
Yeah.
Because I guess Miss Hancock took it upon herself to cut a promo in the middle of this hardcore championship match.
Why the hell not?
Eric was busy, so,
So-
some screen time.
Her promo is she wants to dance.
Yes.
She does her dance.
Why
Now-
is Kim with Mike Awesome, by the way?
Last week, no, it was Palumbo.
Well,
Something happened with Awesome
Mike
Kim last
Awesome
No one
and
knows.
DDP have been feuding.
Yeah.
So, naturally, you go with...
Mike Awesome, I remember now. Mike Awesome last week said, I have a match with Paige. You know him better than anyone. I need your help. And I remember this because she
see.
pointed out how sweaty he was.
Right.
That's right. Don't put your hands on me.
Yes.
But now they're like together.
Now they're friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Tried himself off.
yeah. So, Kimberly and Mike Awesome come out. Kimberly is mad at Miss Hancock for stealing her spotlight. Craig, you mentioned Tori Wilson's outfit earlier.
Yes, sir.
Kimberly Page in
Yes.
long skirts cut up to the waist.
Money.
Buys.
Yes.
She says that secretary stripper look went out in 1993.
Oh, I don't know.
Wrong.
Factually
That
wrong.
was an incorrect statement by this heel.
Well, speaking of incorrect statements,
Yes.
well, first Kimberly takes Hancock's clipboard and breaks it over her back and leaves.
Yeah.
Miss Hancock, all 85 pounds of her, no-sells this clipboard attack, jumps up, and dares Kimberly Page to bring her fat ass into this ring.
Yes. Back 19 years ago when fat ass was a negative. Kimberly is appalled being told she has a big ass. You geeky little wench. I'm going to give you a fat lip later.
The best part about
She's
this
Brock Lesnar now.
Sure.
Friday.
Sure.
Friday, I'm going to give you a fat lip.
The best part about this is...
There's a best part?
One of the best parts about this is...
Okay.
Miss Hancock says Kim is a fat ass, and Mike Awesome, who's standing next to Kim in her high-cut skirt, he steps back, he looks at her ass,
Yes.
he shakes his head. It's
No.
not fat.
No.
I laughed and I laughed and I laughed at Mike Awesome's stern disapproval of Kim's ass being called fat. Now, they leave. I think, okay, it's done. We'll go to commercial, whatever. No. The hardcore title match is still going on.
Yes.
Of course it is.
We were supposed to believe.
You cannot, Vinny, you can't be mad about this if you got mad about the count out in the Falls Count Anywhere match.
Well,
The match just kept going.
that one set a precedent, though.
But
Well,
They didn't follow their own precedent then.
this wasn't a Falls Count Anywhere. It's a fucking hardcore match.
we were supposed to believe that the hardcore legend Terry Funk and Eric Bischoff had been brawling for 9 minutes now.
Yes.
Vinny, let me play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Okay? You're the director on Nitro. Okay?
That would be better.
All right? Eric Bischoff and Terry Funk are fighting backstage. And meanwhile, Miss Hancock, dressed as a stripper secretary from 1993,
Sure.
is saying, I'm going to get in the ring and take my clothes off. Okay?
Okay. All right, I'm with you.
Touche.
Okay.
Thank you.
Touche, Brian. You've made an excellent
Thank
point.
you. When that shit was over, he went back to these two old guys.
Okay.
Well, the old guys come back out. They're still fighting. Okay, Brian, we could have had the hot women in skimpy clothing. Now we come back to Vince Russo and the Mama Lukes.
Yes.
That's worse than Miss Hancock dancing.
Well, they were gone by then. They'd announced their match.
So Vince orders the Mama Lukes to the ring. Terry Funk threatens to show his wrinkled ass.
And he didn't pull his fucking pants down because it was taking so long for the heels to get out there.
Yeah, the director did not show that, thankfully. The Mama Lukes come out. They destroy Terry Funk with weapons. They put Eric Bischoff on top, and Eric Bischoff wins.
He is your brand new WCW World Hardcore Champion.
Do you realize
Eric Bischoff.
they were watching Monday Night Raw and decided the thing to rip off here is Gerald Briscoe as hardcore champion?
Yes.
Eric, did you bring your gi?
Well, he didn't.
He didn't, actually.
Let's see if they got his title history on the... Yeah, they do. That's the only title that Eric Bischoff ever won.
Well, thank God.
The WCW Hardcore Championship one time.
Did it have, like, karate tournament trophies or whatever you had on there?
Nah, it doesn't list that. He got Best Non-Wrestler in 2005.
Wow. Actually, he was a great character. That's true. Ric Flair arrives at the building in a limousine, thus killing Kevin Nash's gimmick. He is not the
yeah.
last one to arrive.
That's a good call.
Reed and Beth are with him. Scott Steiner and Vampiro.
This match happened.
Oh my God, it was great. Steiner just fucking killed this guy.
First, Scott Steiner, the baby face,
Yeah, that's weird.
recites a poem about meeting a strange woman and having his way with her in explicit detail. And we all cheer for him. And I will say this, there was a woman in the crowd who was not wearing a bra who liked this poem a lot. I guess she was the next freak in line. So then, yes, Scott Steiner attempted to kill Vampiro in this ring before our very eyes. Like, it's one thing to see him chopping the shit out of this dude or suplex him all over the place, because that's what Scott Steiner does. When he picks up a chair that's like halfway folded and doesn't like set it right or even turn it the right way, just swings it like an axe, like legs first at Vampiro's face, I'm convinced he was trying to kill him. Sells nothing the entire match.
Well, why would you?
Slams him through the announce desk.
Yeah, which was not set up to be broken.
No.
He's just like, I'll slam this fucker through this table. And he did.
I mean, it could have been an oak slab. He would have slammed him through it. So Vampiro picks up his blowtorch, and apparently not knowing how blowtorches work, begins to hit Scott Steiner with it. In the ring.
Well, it worked.
I guess. It was not a DQ.
You can light him on fire.
Medeja hits him with a crossbody. This is also not a DQ.
No.
Vampiro stalks her up the ramp with his gas can and his blowtorch. In the process, he like circles around to block her escape, and he's taunting her and menacing her.
Well, he had his gas can in the other hand, and he was actually, pouring gas on the floor as he was going around. So he's actually pouring gas all the way around her.
I see.
As to light,
Yeah. The point is his back is to the entryway.
Right.
And so he misses Sting coming up behind him. Sting just walks up and takes his bat and goes, "Bunk!"
Right on the back of the fucking head.
Just bumped him.
Yep.
Hit him like, I don't know, at least a half dozen more times with his baseball bat. None of these are DQs. And Vampiro gets thrown into the ring, and Steiner hits a belly-to-belly suplex overhead.
Onto his head.
Onto his head.
Just drops him right on his fucking
Puts
head.
him in the Steiner recliner and wins.
Yeah.
This was not boring.
No, my appreciation of blondes did not allow me to appreciate Malaysia enough in the 90s. Just want to throw that out there. I was wrong, everyone.
Yes, you were.
And Geeks run down. Sting beats the hell out of all of them, and lax rules, they told us.
Oh, yes, the very relaxed rules.
Very much so for the next match as well.
Yeah. Tank Abbott versus Goldberg.
Okay, so hold on a second. Goldberg has been gone
Right.
since he put his fucking arm through a car window and almost ended his career. They've been building up Goldberg versus Tank Abbott on television for months and months and months and months and months.
Right.
Finally, Goldberg returns last week, and they announce inexplicably this will not be a pay-per-view match. They are going to put this match on free television tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Stupid. So, you could have argued the week before that no one's buying these goddamn pay-per-views. So, we may as well put it on TV and get a good rating. Well, this did not do a good rating.
No.
It did a shitty rating. So, they may as well put it on pay-per-view. But, you know the easiest way to get a shitty rating for a match?
Don't advertise it.
Have it be a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, after all this time, Goldberg gets in the ring. He suplexes Tank all over the place. Rick hits the ring. Tank tries to pin him. Goldberg kicks out. Nash comes down. He takes out Rick. And Goldberg hits the spear and jackhammer and pins Tank Abbott in the middle of the ring. It went like 3 minutes.
Tops. Yeah.
You know, I mentioned on Twitter, and I stand by this. If I have one regret about the death of WCW, available right now at Amazon.com, as well as Audible.com, I'll read the goddamn book to you. If I have one regret about that book, it's that I was too nice to this company.
Yeah.
This could have been a whole fucking chapter in and of itself.
This match.
This was the year 2000. They needed something.
Oh,
And you know what? These fans wanted Goldberg really bad. And granted, they fucked up Tank Abbott, but people still cared about Tank Abbott versus Goldberg. And they fucking deliver a 3-minute match with, by the way, a spear and jackhammer, so you can't fucking do it again.
Right.
This was one of the dumbest fucking things I ever saw in my life, and I totally forgot about it because there was so much other fucking stupid shit that happened in the year 2000. A fucking travesty this was.
Yeah, this might have actually sold a couple pay-per-views. This might have made them some money, and they screwed it up.
Did you mention at the end, Goldberg was bleeding profusely from the back of the head?
Yeah.
Because Rick Steiner grabbed a steel chair and hit him in the back of the head in the middle of the ring during the match, and it was not a DQ. And again, the announcers say, well, relaxed rules.
Fucking idiotic.
Okay, that's not relaxed rules. That's no rules.
Idiotic.
And in that case, why not bring a gun? Why don't we have a firearm down to the ring?
Fuck, a dude brought a goddamn fucking flamethrower.
Yeah, blowtorch. Dispatch Bill Goldberg once and for all. Be done with it and win the feud. No, I'll use a chair. Anyway. Backstage, Goldberg orders the doctor to stitch him up. I'm sure he did.
Good call, Bill.
Pamela Paulshock, this is her question to Kimberly Page. I guess you showed Miss Hancock that nobody steals your spotlight.
It's not a question.
It's not. There's no question in there.
That's a statement.
That is a declaration. Kim dismisses her and promises that she and Mike Awesome will wipe the smile off Miss Hancock's face.
You know what's funny about this is that it was straight out of Raw, but it was still better because unscripted is better, like bad unscripted is better than bad scripted.
By 100 miles.
Because at least it still feels real.
Yes.
Sure.
Like you think to yourself,
It feels authentic.
these
and
two
natural,
people
yeah.
can't talk. You watch Raw and it's like, these aren't two people.
Yes, that's actually true, yeah.
Thank you.
Now, there's more. She and Mike Awesome will wipe the smile off Miss Hancock's face.
Yeah, don't gloss over that.
I assumed this meant they were now going to do a handicap match.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Miss Hancock on her own versus Kimberly Page and Mike Awesome, which sounds unfair. The announcers translate it for me and say it's going to be a mixed tag. So, okay. And then Kim adds to Pamela, I know some boutiques that can help you with your wardrobe. Jeff Jarrett versus Sting.
All right, I got to wait for everybody to make some money, or one person. The first person who can send me an animated GIF of Jeff Jarrett successfully executing a Frankensteiner, I will give you $50.
Damn it, I was going to make it right now.
Yeah.
That does not exist.
Yeah, $50.
He always goes, sometimes it's a Frankensteiner, sometimes it's a dropkick. He always gets
1,000 matches. He's gone for that Frankensteiner and always gets At least Flair has come off the top rope like once or twice.
Well, once a decade, he'll hit a crossbody, yeah.
It's like Kidman getting powerbombed successfully.
Yeah, that's never happened either. So, Jarrett's out there using a chair on the ramp. It's not a DQ. The ref, as they explain, is not really counting the man out, just encouraging him to get back into the ring.
What?
So here's the finish. Sting, from the apron, does the sunset flip into the ring. And Jarrett grabs the ropes to block it. And he grabs it, and it won't go. And so the ref kicks Jarrett's hands away. And Jarrett's windmilling and fighting for balance. And he throws in the brakes. And he's not going down. He has won the battle. And then Sting just pulls him down and pins him anyway.
Yep.
Never give up.
He won.
Yes.
Delayed sunset flip.
Okay, so I feel a little better now because they revealed it was not a championship match when everybody thought it was.
Sting is celebrating with a belt when Bischoff comes out and says, I never said the title would be on the line.
Okay, so now that I know that, I'm a little less... I wasn't really irate, but I watched this match and I thought it was a title change like everybody else. And I just watched and thought, I worked 10 times harder against Logan Stunt on a show promoted by Ed than these two motherfuckers in a world title match on national TV.
Yes.
Turns out it wasn't a title change. They announced that the title was not on the line. And Sting doesn't even give a fuck.
Nope.
No.
He's like, well, I'll just beat his ass, send him to the show in a body bag.
He cuts a promo saying, I will just put him in a body bag now.
Yeah.
And he says these words. Jarrett's in the ring as he says this. And then Jarrett gets beat up anyway.
This was one of those things where, like, this might have been cool in a company that was hot, but in the year 2000 in WCW on a show as fucking horrible as this was a load of horseshit, this finish. They fucked over these fans. The wrestlers don't give a shit about it.
No.
Like, when Dusty got fucked out of something, he was mad.
Yeah.
Jarrett's, he gets his belt and he celebrates, and Sting just goes, fuck, I'll send him in a body bag.
Sting actually
Hit
did
him with a guitar.
Sting hit the death drop on the ramp, and Scott Hudson yells something about a dusty finish.
Yeah, Eric Bischoff ran out and made it a dusty finish, he says.
Titles come, titles go.
So, does this mean he's not champion, obviously, but I mean, he just clean as a sheet pinned the world champion.
He should be the number one contender.
Is he is he now the top babyface? Is he set up for whatever's after the bash?
I don't fucking know.
Get a title shot at some point?
I do not know.
So they go to commercial. They come back. So Sting beats up Jarrett, put him in the Scorpion for a long time, broke the guitar over his head. After the break, Jeff Jarrett, the World Heavyweight Champion, has been strapped to a backboard. His arms and neck and head have all been stabilized. Bischoff is screaming at the EMTs, be careful with him! And he's loaded into an ambulance, and the announcers promise this man will defend the title, but he'll be less than 100%.
Whoop-de-doo.
Why?
I don't know.
How stupid do they think I am? They have a long way to go. Mike Austin comes out for a promo.
It's bad, but it's funny.
It was yes, exactly. This is like you said. This is a guy who can't talk. First of all, I want to thank the network for editing Mike Austin's ECW theme, which is in fact awesome. So he's something about he's going to paralyze Paige. He knows nurses who give great sponge baths, which I guess he meant as an insult, but I don't know.
Yeah, makes you want to go to the hospital.
I've had worse doctor visits. So he brings out Kimberly. They're ready for their tag match. Miss Hancock comes out and says, I have a release this is what she says. Kim, I know you're all about me. All your money is tied up in your moneymaker. I want to know that I will not be held legally responsible for messing up your pretty face. I need you to sign this paper. And Kim, at least she's a heel, But like a complete moron, she signs this paper, and then so we'll get to it. She signs the paper. Miss Hancock's partner is DDP.
Now, before we know what's on the paper, okay, DDP's music hits, and Mark Madden says, astutely, Kimberly has a restraining order against him.
Yeah.
Scott Hudson, who works in criminal justice in his real job, says, and I quote, so?
Gosh. One of them, I think it was Shivani. Yeah, he says, but this is a signed verbal commitment matchup. I hate Nitro. It's an awful program for dumb people.
But let me tell you something, Vinny. The match is Kimberly and Mike Awesome against DDP and Miss Hancock.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Hancock is out there in her suit and high heels.
In her stripper secretary outfit, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say I don't know how, but I do know how. Miss Hancock, in her stripper outfit and high heels, is an untrained wrestler, facing Kimberly, also an untrained wrestler.
In, like, platform boots.
Was significantly better than Charlotte versus Lacey Evans on Raw Monday night.
Ouch. Really?
I am not making this up.
Wow.
As God above is my witness. And do you want to know why? Because they idiot-proofed this. Even these fucking idiots knew to idiot-proof this fucking match. Meanwhile, the other idiots on Raw are like, hey, I got a great idea. Let's take a girl who can't work and put her in there with Charlotte and give them 11 minutes and have them shoot at the beginning. Or whatever the fuck they did. This was so much better. It was impossible. It was like it sucked. But I mean, it was so much better.
All they did was have a dance contest. They attempted to tear each other's clothes off. They didn't do a very good job. And then
it was still better than the grappling at the beginning of Lacey Evans versus Charlotte.
I'm not denying that. I didn't see it, but I'm not denying that. By the way, for those of you who have not figured this out, the papers Kim signed were a waiver.
A waiver.
I guess
I'm waiving the restraining order.
Yes, I guess the restraining order. I don't know if it's a one-night thing or what, but Paige no longer has a restraining order. So, let's see. The guys are wrestling now. Mike Awesome sets up a table on the floor and then climbs in the ring and hits a frog splash and tries for a pin. Now, why would you do that? If you wanted to put a guy through a table, why would you then try to pin him?
Well, there's a Billy Kidman match coming in a second.
Let's see.
Need that table there.
So here's the finish. Miss Hancock decides I shall distract Mike Awesome. So he puts her like 46-inch legs or whatever they are out there. Now, she's wearing this tiniest, shortest skirt you've ever seen in your life. You can basically see everything, even though, just the bottom of the skirt. But she turns to the side a little bit and rips the side of the skirt to show about 2.5 more inches of leg. And now Mike Awesome is transfixed. He's never seen that upper thigh before. And so Paige hits him with a diamond cutter and pins him.
Yeah. That's the match.
That was the match. Backstage, Pamela Paulshock lets us all know Hulk Hogan told her that Hulk would not be fighting Horace tonight.
Oh, man. Watch Raw, everybody.
Bischoff comes out for a promo.
With the hardcore title. It's the same goddamn show.
Horace is sitting at a table. He was very insistent. I want to put my Uncle Hulk through this table. Bischoff says Hogan won't fight, but maybe he'll have the dignity to come out and forfeit. Come on out, Hulk. But then instead, the NWO theme plays, and out comes Hollywood Hogan.
Get it?
Yeah.
Hulk's not here tonight, but Hollywood is.
Yes.
What a swerve.
So the cage match that they had for Russo and Flair, it's actually a cell. It goes all the way around the ring with the ringside and it has a roof.
Yes.
Yep.
So we got Hollywood Hogan versus Horace Hogan in a Hell in a Cell match. It goes 2 minutes. Hogan puts a chair on Horace's face, does the leg off, and pins him.
It actually wasn't bad.
It was fine squash match.
Totally fine little squash match.
They did a squash match in a cell.
And then he grabs Kidman. And keep in mind, this is the go-home show for a pay-per-view where Hulk Hogan is facing Kidman.
Yes.
And if he wins, he gets a championship match.
Sure.
Hogan grabs Kidman. He throws his ass over the top rope. Kidman bumps through the table outside that Mike Awesome set up. He is left for dead. And I was supposed to care about their match on Sunday.
Right.
Yes.
I was just flabbergasted. What in the fuck was this? Now, granted, I didn't need to see Hulk Hogan get pinned again. That would have been dumb. But fuck.
the stuff after the fact, after the match, didn't need to happen.
Pamela interviews Flair. He threatens to beat up Vince Russo in a steel cage.
Yeah.
Russo's on the phone. He's infuriated that David Flair is not there. He's stuck in traffic. Kevin Nash is lacing up his boots. Vince Russo versus Ric Flair in a Hell in a Cell.
Oh, my God, Vinny. My God in heaven. Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler that has ever lived on the planet Earth. He got in there with Vince fucking Russo. And, you know, I always go, I've said this a million times. I see people in there with people that can't work, and I see them trying to do high spots, and I'm just furious. Because, like, why would you try a high spot?
Well,
Don't fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
What is the first thing this fucking Ric Flair does? A fucking high spot with Russo.
Yeah.
And it worked. He takes over. He beats the shit out of Russo. His big knee drop. He chops the shit out of him. Russo's bleeding from the chest, screaming for David. Flair's giving him the suplex, the chops. He's just beating the shit out of him. Finally, who should come out from underneath the ring but David Flair?
Swerve!
David Flair gets in the ring. Let me tell you something. David Flair is better than Russo.
Yes.
He also fucking sucks.
Yes.
Ric Flair is now in there with two fucking terrible wrestlers.
That is true.
He proceeds to have a fucking good match with these two motherfuckers. Yeah. He beats the shit out of Russo. Then he goes and he beats the shit out of David. David takes the Flair bump in the corner.
David
the chop
pulled off
on the apron.
corner flip, yes.
Yep. They have a ladder in the ring, and Russo tries to climb out. Flair goes after him. They brawl on top of the cage. Russo tries to climb back down. Flair stomps on his fingers. Russo falls into the cage. Flair climbs back down. He just beats the shit out of everybody. Puts a figure four on Russo. When he puts that figure four on Russo, I'm like, I have never in my life, it's God is my witness, I have never seen a performance like this. The match that he got out of these two absolutely green as grass, useless competitors, God bless them. The match he got out of these guys was unbelievable.
That is fair.
Then he puts Russo in this fucking figure four, and Russo just won't quit.
Time stood still.
I timed this.
Yes.
For those of you who don't believe me, it is the 1 hour, 32 minute, and 22 second mark when Ric Flair locks on this figure four. The camera doesn't move. Russo doesn't move. Flair doesn't move. Nash doesn't move. David doesn't move. They're just all lying there. 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Yes.
Now, I'm guessing somebody was gun shy and didn't dump the
I
red
presume
liquid.
they were just late with the blood, but because it's Ric Flair, I always presume they also wanted to humiliate him.
And screw him. In Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes.
So one way or the other, Russo just survives the figure four for 1 minute and 14 fucking seconds.
Russo feels no pain. He will not quit.
And then the goddamn blood drops and it douses everybody.
Yes.
But only Rick sells.
Yes. And Nash.
Yes.
Well,
And
he had to. He got knocked over by the contact of the liquid.
yes. And Russo ends up pinning Ric Flair.
Yeah.
The finish was atrocious,
Yes.
but the match was something that like everybody should watch.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what Ric Flair got out of these two fucking guys. Unbelievable.
The lesson is,
He wrestled 2 broomsticks.
he did. If you have a match with a guy who absolutely positively cannot wrestle, just beat them up. And it'll be great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Steiner and Nash are having a conversation that we can't hear. Did anyone get anything out of this?
Couldn't hear a word.
Madden talking about the last segment says blood fell from the ceiling. Shivani corrects him. Madden, it was red liquid. We have. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Kevin Nash Gauntlet, baby.
People told me what happened in this match, and still watching it somehow was worse than they said. Kevin Nash versus the New Blood in a Gauntlet match.
Yes.
So Nash comes out, and then Russo has sort of tried to towel off some of the blood. He's still got red liquid all over him.
He looks like Cody in the post show.
Actually,
Yes.
he did.
Double or nothing.
Only in much worse shape. So Disco Inferno is out there.
Can I ask you a question,
He may have
Vinny?
stolen my Deion Sanders jersey. Yes.
They're in Atlanta.
Yes.
Why did Disco come out wearing an Atlanta jersey?
I don't have an answer.
He's a bad guy.
Fuck if I know.
I don't have an answer for why he was wearing the hometown jersey. I guess this is 2000.
Maybe they just lost a big game and he was mocking them.
Not in June. They don't play in June. I'm trying to remember. I think the was retired by the
Well, the NBA playoffs, right? Was it a...
It was a football jersey.
Oh, football jersey? Yes. Yeah, I don't have an explanation.
Regardless.
Next
I have the exact same jersey hanging in my closet. So, Russo reiterates, if anyone pins Kevin Nash, or if any millionaires interfere...
Yes.
Then Kevin Nash will lose his title shot at the Great American Bash, which, by the way, this is not just the go home show. This is the go home segment for the Great American Bash.
Now I might add you have Thunder.
I guess that's true.
But I should add that when he came out, my first thought when he gave the speech was, how do you win? Because it was never explained how Nash won. There's like every heel in the world is like, he has to beat 55 guys.
Yes.
There's 4 minutes of TV time left, you fucking idiots. So...
All right, here's what happens.
Dude.
Disco runs into the ring. Kevin Nash hits a side slam. Nash makes a cover, and the ref counts 3.
Yeah, Nash pinned the Disco Inferno with 1 side slam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Candido hits the ring. Kevin Nash is a power bomb. He does not make a cover. He's nowhere near Chris Candido. No. Kevin Nash is over here. Chris Candido's laying down over here. The ref counts 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
He wasn't covering him. He didn't have a foot on him. Nothing.
Did he use astral projection to pin this man?
I've got to
give ghost pin Chris Candido.
I've got to give Nash a little bit of credit here. Okay, are you ready for this?
I'm listening.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Oh.
So what happened was when Candido ran in and he power bombed him, Johnny the Bull also ran in and Nash power bombed him.
Yes.
Okay, so there's now 2 bodies down.
Sure.
All right. So I think that Johnny the Bull jumped the gun.
Well, this whole thing was very clearly rushed.
Yes.
If you want to argue this is not Kevin Nash's fault,
well, I'm gonna because I'm gonna tell you why. So I think Johnny the Bull jumped the gun, and so the ref felt I've got to count the pin on Candido, even though Johnny the Bull is getting power bombed right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ref counts the pin.
Yes.
Now the reason I'm giving Nash credit is because I don't know if it was Ray or it was somebody else, but somebody else ran in.
Eventually, I wrote it down.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, one of these guys gets knocked down, and he's on his back, and Nash is nowhere near him. And this goddamn ref drops to count again. Nash, I've never seen him move so fast.
Yes.
Rushes over to put his foot on the chest to make it a real pin.
Yes.
So I don't think this was Nash being lazy.
No.
This was Nash trying to figure out, why the fuck is this referee counting when I'm not even on these guys?
No, I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
But you're missing the point. I don't care whose fault it was.
It was stupid.
The product is infuriatingly stupid. So
were phantom pins.
He pins Disco in front of the side slam. He powerbombs Candido. The ref counts 3, even though Nash doesn't pin him. He powerbombs Johnny the Bull. The ref counts 3, even though Nash doesn't pin him. He powerbombs Big Vito. The ref counts 3, even though Nash doesn't pin him. He powerbombs Rey Mysterio Jr. Kevin Nash does pin this one.
Actually, Ray was a big boot.
Okay. It was very fast. I cannot keep track of it all.
That was the point. He got hit with a big boot and got pinned.
Yeah.
Like an absolute geek.
At this point, 5 or 6 dudes at once all hit the ring. It's not a DQ. The fans are chanting for Goldberg. Goldberg's music plays. And Goldberg hits the ring and begins to attack people.
Is he not a millionaire?
No.
I'm quite certain Bill Goldberg was a millionaire in the year 2000.
Well, I mean,
no doubt in my mind.
That's not what separates the millionaires from the new blood. I mean, was he unaffiliated? Is that the gimmick here?
He'd been gone when all these factions got split up.
Yeah, so maybe he was unaffiliated.
I am to believe he's a free agent.
Yes.
He's a
he is
freebooter
neither
in this
new
war.
blood nor a millionaire.
Yes, this actually did make sense. That particular part.
That's the only thing
That's
that I
the
can
only
figure.
part.
Now, they didn't explain that. Okay?
Craig saying that made sense actually caused like a twinge in my neck. I may have burst a blood vessel. So
Now,
if I die here, I apologize.
That only part.
I
Just
will
that one part.
will defend you, Vinny.
Yes.
When Goldberg runs in and helps Nash clear the ring, the announcers are baffled. And they have no idea whether or not Nash successfully ran the gauntlet. Like, they actually say that. Did he run the gauntlet? I'm like, you fucking tell me. You're the fucking commentators. Did he or not? And then they say, what does Goldberg's interference mean? Does it mean anything? Again, you tell me. So I think the show's over, and Eric Bischoff comes out, and he says, Goldberg, I vow to suspend you if you interfered, and so I am suspending you on Thunder. What?
That's your tease.
You're not suspending him now.
Everyone watch Thunder so you can see Bischoff officially announce Bill Goldberg's suspension.
Right now, he's not suspended.
No.
Okay. But if he shows up at Thunder, he's going to be suspended.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just don't
so he
show up.
says, Eric, if you suspend me, your ass is next.
Yes.
All right. This program was wretched.
Yes.
This was a wretched, fucking horrible edition of a professional wrestling television
one of the
show.
worst I've ever seen.
Literally one of the worst. It's not the worst. There have been worse. But it was very, very bad. I can't believe this made the air. I mean, I can. Because they just went live and did a bunch of shit.
Did you remember 40 minutes ago when you were baffled that Monday Night Raw won?
We spent almost an hour on that.
Yeah. And I'm sure we missed stuff.
Yeah.
I'm certain we missed some stuff.
Yeah. You know, I wonder if we reviewed Nitro first, if those Raws would all look better.
I'm sure they would. I don't know if our shows would be better, though.
Fuck. So there you go, everybody. That's Nitro, 19 years ago
Thumbs
this
down.
week. Yeah.
If you're wondering, we do not recommend watching the show.
Less than a year left. That's all you need to know.
How'd they make it that long?
I don't know
How'd they make it through
that long.
July?
I don't have any idea. They barely made it through July. You'll find out.
Okay.
They barely made it through July and August. All right, everybody.
Here we go.
Oh, the main event.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know how slow you can play this.
I can just go on a loop forever.
You may have to. This may take an hour by itself. The finishes on this show were Screwjob countout enforced by a guy who is commissioner or a friend of the promoters or something, I don't know. Pin after two women are in the ring and one hits a nut shot, but the dude's wearing a cup, but it didn't matter because he still lost. Pin in one of the worst hardcore matches ever after interference of three men with two women cutting promos and another dude shaking his head and staring at ass. Submission after one dude used a weapon and
Sorry.
it's hard to do this with Craig.
I'm sorry.
Submission after one dude used a weapon and a woman interfered and then a mime from hell interfered and hit a dude with a bat over and over and over again. Pin despite interference from a dude with a chair. We're like halfway done. Pin despite a guy using a chair in a surprise non-title match. I think a clean pin.
A surprise non-title match.
Surprise non-title match. I think a clean pin in a mixed tag match. A clean squash in a Hell in a Cell match. Pin in Hell in a Cell after interference from a man's son and dozens of gallons of blood are dropped from the ceiling. And finally, in the worst gauntlet match of all time, one man gets 5 wins even though he wasn't even pinning some of these men. And then a guy interferes, and the match just ends even though a half dozen men in the gauntlet never got their match. And also we were told if there was interference, the one guy would lose his title shot, but I guess he didn't lose it after all.
That was 3.5 times through that song.
Wow. How long is the song?
35 seconds.
Faster than I thought it would make it then.
Vinny, that was wonderful.
You're welcome, Craig.
That needs to be on Best of 2019.
I wanted to do a screen cap of that to share that with the Twitter universe, and it barely fit on my screen.
Jesus.
It's huge.
Fuck.
In fact, hang on. That finishes
was-
show was...
That was a show.
The finishes report was 249 words.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Holy smokes.
Fine effort, young man.
Well, everyone, there you go.
There you go.
There's our show for today. I want to thank you all for listening. I am out of energy.
Understood.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
But we'll be back on Thursday with NXT TakeOver and Granny. And that's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.